This is the Fitness Wisdom Podcast. Hello and welcome back to another exciting episode of the Fitness Wisdom Podcast. Today we have a very special guest, Mila. She's a holistic health practitioner specializing in quantum cupping, but also energy and frequency medicine. So if you're interested in quantum biology and circadian biology and energy medicine in general, you're absolutely going to love this episode. So welcome to the show, Mila. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. It's an honor to be here.
The reason why I actually asked you to, no worries. The reason why I actually asked you to come on the podcast is because I noticed your Instagram page and, you know, your title of your page is Quantum Cupping, right? And I'm very interested and passionate about, of all things, voltage, you know, charge, fascial system, bioelectricity, and you seem to talk a lot about that through your Instagram. But I would be really interested to hear how you got into doing that kind of practice in the first place. Where did it all begin for you?
Well, long time ago, I used to have endometriosis. I don't know if you are familiar with the disease, but it's a very crazy disease that causes a lot of pain. And I was very young. I was around like 24, 25. Today I'm 49. So it was like a long time ago. The thing is, like, I went to the doctors, like was jumping from doctor to doctor, and they really wanted to like remove my uterus from my body. And I was just 24 years old, you know, so it was like very young. And I was looking for new ways to treat this disease because I didn't want to lose my uterus and my family, right?
Yes.
I was young. I didn't have like a family yet. So I came across traditional Chinese medicine, and they asked me to come 3 times a week for 3 months, and mainly they were performing cupping therapy. So after 3 months, I got this miracle that I was almost free of endometriosis. But of course, I changed my lifestyle too. You know, I had to like change my diet. I had to start moving my body. I had to start going outside nature because traditional Chinese medicine is huge in nature. It came from nature, right? From the Tao Te Ching. So was my little miracle. I was like completely fascinated by traditional Chinese medicine and decided to go to school. And then I went to Pacific College of Oriental Medicine. It's a master's degree. It's a 40 years degree. You learn everything about the body, like physiology, pathophysiology, everything. But instead of medication, we're going to use lifestyle changes, diet, cupping therapy, acupuncture, moxibustion, like moxa, tuina is like another technique that is included in Chinese medicine. And I was doing together the massage therapist school as well. So I was doing the massage school and the doctor's degree and everything together. And yeah, that's how everything started.
So it was basically through your own personal struggle, it basically forced you to go down this rabbit hole, to realize, hey, like the conventional medical paradigm is not helping me here. And they're actually wanting to do surgeries on me and give me pills and all this stuff. And you thought like, no, I need to take, you know, health and responsibility into my own hands. And you proved to yourself that actually there are other alternative ways out there. And that, I guess, that lit the fire in you to go down and search for the truth.
And it's funny the way that it works because it's almost like you have this deep knowing that there is something else available to you. You just need to kind of tune in and align to this new reality, you know, and was just funny because I started to feel things that I didn't feel before, and it was kind of a strong guidance. And it's like it's this deep knowing that you know, but you don't know how you know.
Yes,
it's kind of
it's intuitive.
A weird feeling. It's it's very intuitive. So, and when like I was talking with this guy about my problem, and he was a doctor in TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, and then he goes like, okay, give me 3 months. Just give me 3 months and let's see how it goes. And I didn't have anything to lose. It was my last resource, you know?
Yes.
And it's funny how the body like respond to it. And yeah.
If there was one substance that could increase your energy levels, optimize mitochondrial function, boost ATP production, help to optimize your hormones, remineralize the body with ionic minerals, boost cognitive function, assist detoxification, and support your gut health via the microbiome, this substance is Shilajit, known as the destroyer of weakness. Shilajit is a herbal mineral substance made from the decomposition of plants and bacteria, this process taking place over thousands of years. It is harvested from high altitude locations, primarily the Altai and Himalayan mountains. And what makes Shilajit so unique is that it's made by Mother Nature herself. I call it nature's methylene blue. Not all Shilajit that you find on the market is created equally. This is why I only use and trust Mountain Drop Shilajit. They have an extremely high quality Shilajit product that has been rigorously tested for heavy metals and impurities. Grab yourself some Shilajit, the destroyer of weakness today, and head over to mountaindrop.com. Use the promo code mobilityfitness at checkout for a nice discount as well.
So back then was very new for me.
So where does the quantum cupping aspect come into all of this? What does quantum cupping mean, first of all, and where does it fit into this story?
Well, the quantum cupping happened probably like 5 to 6 years ago. After like maybe 10, 13 years of practice. Because this is the thing. When you go to school and you graduate, you come out of school very into the books, the systems, and you wanna play by the book. I'm so sorry, I don't have like a support system here, though. We're gonna be like,
oh, no worries, it's okay.
After like coming out of school fresh, I was trying to practice everything that I was learning in school, right? Like location of the points and channels. Like I was kind of applying the same protocol in every patient, the same, and was not working, you know, because everybody's different.
Yeah.
And then I came across Dr. Joe Dispenza, like all those like amazing teachers, and was learning about this flow, this quantum field, the entanglement between the practitioner and the patient. And I started noticing that during my treatment, I had like a different flow for every single person. But it was a flow that I didn't learn in school, but it was a flow that was actually taking over the practice, the body, right? So it was almost like an energy guiding, energy that was guiding the treatment. And it took by surprise because I was not expecting this interaction with people. It was an interaction that I didn't understand back then, right? But it was so interesting because when I was doing the Chinese medical school, we have classes that open up our meridians in the hands. We have Tai Chi, we had Qigong. So we learn how to play with energy in our own body. And during those classes, I was start feeling this field of energy moving throughout my body and moving physically my body. So my body was moving without me moving the body.
Wow,
so
that's amazing.
It was very important that that's crazy because these channels was just opening up. I was almost like I had all my channels completely blocked. And throughout school, it was so cool because they offer treatments for students for a very little price. So I took advantage of it, and I was treating myself for 4 years over there too. So I noticed that my meridians was kind of open up. And by open up, I was moving in a different way in the world, you know? I know that's a little crazy, but that was kind of my experience. So the quantum cupping comes from this intuitive way to read energy. And every patient, every client, the energy, it's different. So the point, example, we have a point in the stomach channel. Stomach 36 is a point located close to the knee area, four fingers down on the right. Four is not the same location for everyone. Sometimes this point of energy is a little up. Sometimes this point of channel is a little down. Sometimes it's a little left or right. So, and when I was starting to practice, the point, I was doing the same point, the same location in everyone, and it was not working. So the quantum came from this intuitive way to read people's body and get results faster. So it was just like, okay. And then I was learning more about what is this energy? What is this flow? Where is coming from? How do I have to use it? It's kind of been very interesting journey.
You were saying back there that, this all sounds crazy, but to me, it doesn't sound crazy at all, because the deeper you go down this rabbit hole of energy and frequency medicine, and you understand that every single thing in the universe has its own unique electromagnetic frequency or signature, right? Like caffeine has its own signature, alcohol, nicotine, like all these different compounds, your energy, love, happiness, gratitude. So if you've got these like frequencies, right, they are being emitted by your brain or your body, and you're able to transfer that energy to your environment. And we understand now more as well about the biofield, how we have this 6 feet field that extends all around our body, which is sharing this energy information. I can imagine that when you, as the practitioner, is aiming to help the patient, and you are channeling this intentional healing energy and thought into your hands or whatever kind of practice you're doing with them, the outcome can be so much greater. But I guess my question to you would be, for the audience and also for myself, how would you describe this energy? Like, how does it feel? So, for example, when you are building this bond and this connection with the client or the patient, how can you actually identify whether there is something wrong in the body energetically?
Well, it's a very gentle energy. It's not something that is super strong. It's a very gentle energy. What I do with my patients, like before treating them, I kind of scan their body. And by scanning with my hands, I can feel the blockage in my hands. So usually my hand is going to stop there, or it's going to feel like wants to contract. That is like a certain type of feeling. Yeah, that is something is there, and by the location, the channels and points, and then I'm going to apply everything that I learn in school, because I can make something happen here. But first I need to know where is the blockage. And of course, by talking with the patient and understanding life situations, lifestyle, and everything else, I kind of can complete the treatment. But the feeling of this energy is different for every single person. And I feel it, everything that they are feeling too. So the thing is, I had to learn also how to manage my time and how many people I see per day, because there is a limit of energy available,
Yes.
So in the beginning, I was seeing like a lot of people in one day from 9 to 6. I was trying to work inside the matrix, like from 9 to 6 o'clock. And then, I was getting very, very sick, very sick. I couldn't move next day. And I had to learn that my diet has to change if I want to keep going and work with this type of energy. I cannot eat whatever I want. I'm going to have to support my body, because now this channel is open. Another type of energy is coming through. And if I have the wrong diet, the energy doesn't flow. And if the energy doesn't flow, I don't move. If I don't move, nothing happens with the patient, So it was like almost like relearning how to live again. I had to relearn how to live. Now I know that I need to drink lots of water, mineral salts, go to the sun every 3 to 4 months, and stop and really get into nature. So, but this energy is supposed to feel very gentle, but the body needs to be very relaxed. in order for you to flow with this energy? Because I feel like the energy is available for everyone, is in the field. And if you tune in, you can kind of move with the energy and you can understand. It's almost like before my body was offline, and after opening up the meridians and removing the blockages, now it's online. Now I can reconnect with the field, and I can reconnect with people that it's in front of me, you know? So yeah, you cannot be rigid. Like you need to be kind of flowing. It's hard to explain.
So basically you are like an antenna, in a way to like receive information from your environment and also the patient that you're working with. But it seems that, our modern world and everything modern and comfort these days has made us that our antenna is switched off or dampened, right? Because our intention and our thoughts and attention is now going towards things that don't really matter so much, in our reality. It's just more so that we're just focusing now on the wrong things rather than on the things that truly matter. We believe that the digital world is as real as the physical world. And this is something which is very dangerous, because a lot of people, when they get so hooked on the online world, when they see something online, they automatically think that it translates to reality. And the biggest example of this is what happened in COVID, where everybody was, locked inside and scrolling their phones and their tablets and their laptops. And basically it was the greatest test, compliance test, to see whether something on your whether there's something on your screen is going to alter your consciousness, is going to alter your behavior basically and change the way that you act. And it did, because so many people fell for the big lie, basically, that actually happened. It was very unfortunate, but it was also a great awakening for many individuals, many people who were just on the brinks of kind of, waking up, like they had a total, wake up, and those who were not ready, they went into the opposite direction. But, we all get there eventually, but I'm just kind of saying how susceptible the mind is to, manipulation. And if you use things like technology, you can turn the body offline and away from its intuitive and natural senses. So all of these things that we're talking about, if somebody who believed in COVID obviously is not going to believe in our discussion right now, because, it's on an energetic level that we are working on a microscopic level, on a quantum level. But a lot of people don't actually realize that electromagnetism governs biochemistry. And this is exactly, why I love talking to people like you, because you actually have such a in-depth understanding. You're working from the energetic level, impacting people's physiology. And I guess your patients getting better is the actual proof that this stuff actually works, right? So maybe tell me a bit about what are the benefits of quantum cupping in general. Why would someone do cupping in the first place? What are the benefits that you get from cupping?
So it can kind of treat everything, because we came from a basic understanding that inflammation is the base of every chronic disease, right? So if your body is inflamed, your body is prone to all types of diseases. So usually I have patients, they come to quantum cupping as their last option. We are never the first option, we are always the last option, but that's okay, because they tried everything already, and now they are trying something new, like me, 20 years ago,
Yes.
So cupping first is going to take care of inflammation, and then we're going to obstruct, we're going to clear the obstruction of the TCM meridians. So everything that is blocking the energy, the chi, we call chi in TCM. So chi is this vital energy that's supposed to be flowing throughout your body free. And when you have any type of blockage, that can be a physical blockage, like a fascia adhesion or a scar, or muscle that is very tense, but can be also energy. Example, the spleen in TCM is an organ that is related to overthinking, over worry, rumination, right? If you are in this mode of overthinking, over worry, and rumination of thoughts, your spleen channel is going to be blocked. So cupping, quantum cupping has the power to unblock those meridians. So it can kind of regenerate this flow of chi. And by regenerating the flow of chi, you're going to be like regenerating your bioelectrical field around your body, around your cells, around your systems. So that is this flow of energy that it's innate. The body knows how to flow your energy, but with diet and lifestyle, and sometimes with physical injuries, you can block those meridians. And by blocking one point or one meridian, you are blocking all systems. So when you unblock a little bit of, if you have like just a one area that is blocked, you can unblock this area, everything flows. I'm trying to explain a very simple terms so people can understand. I'm not talking about technical terms because it's going to be like, doesn't really serve nobody.
Did you know that muscle weighs more than body fat in terms of volume? This is why someone can look like this or like this and be the exact same weight on the scale, making weight tracking not the most reliable metric when it comes to measuring progress. So building muscle while losing body fat can massively influence the number on the scale, leaving you feeling frustrated and discouraged. This is why I love the Home Body Pod, an at-home full body analyzer that gives you over 40 actionable health metrics, allow you to get a true insight into your body composition from body fat percentage, lean muscle mass, cellular hydration, visceral fat, and so much more. So if you're serious about your health and fitness and leveling up your results, you definitely need to check it out. The link is in the description below, and if you use the promo code MobilityFitness at checkout, you can get a massive discount on your order as well.
Right?
But you can always go as deep as you want because the audience is quite knowledgeable here on this podcast. But so feel free to obviously simplify if you feel like it's necessary. But I also love to hear the technical terms too, because it's all good for us to learn. So for example, how do you know where to place the cups on the body? For example, you talked about the spleen. Like if someone has an issue with the spleen, like where would you place the cup? Is it always on the back, or do you place it also on the front of the body, on top of the organ, or how does it work?
Well, in TCM, you have like the meridians that they are like freeways in the body, and they have points, and every point has a location and has a function. So I'm going to use the point location and the point function as a as a blueprint. But I'm also going to use how I scan the body to understand where the blockage actually are. And some people have like multiple blockages, right? And I cannot treat everything at once. So I'm going to try to like map down to one point where I can really treat it. For example, I say like spleen because it's a channel that it's very deficient in moms and CEOs because they have to make a lot of decisions, right? They are all the time like over worry, overthinking, but at the same time making a lot of decisions. And decision making, we usually use the gallbladder channel. So I'm gonna kind of combine spleen points with the gallbladder points, sometimes junction of points. It's almost like a chess game. That's why everybody has a different protocol, because I need to combine different points and different channels in order to create the result that I want for that person that day, that specifically day, you know? So it varies. It depends. Yeah.
So explain to me then, like, okay, you put the cup on the person. Do you use like, is it like this suction cup? Is it like with a flame, or how does it work? And also
Fire.
when you do, when you do this process, what's actually happening? Can you guide me step by step, like underneath of the skin, or why? For example, just simply the suction of the skin. What's actually happening there?
It's happening so many things. First, I'm using fire. So the fire is an element in TCM that is unblocking energy because the infrared, right? Like so the fire has the infrared light.
Cool.
It's nature already. So that's why I use the fire with the glass cup to kind of create this suction. So we create space. Instead of a massage technique that it's like a positive pressure, when we put a lot of pressure, cupping does completely the opposite. It's gonna suck the skin up. So it's gonna create space. So whatever is happening there energetically or physically, we're gonna kind of give space for movement. So if you have like an inflammation, for example, that you have a lot of body fluid retention, that it's a lot of like bad blood around the area, first you're going to give a space for that thing to move, so fresh new blood can come in and wash away, so the fluids can actually leave the place and drain. But also we have the energetically part of the treatment, where that specifically point and function is activated by the cup and by the infrared light. And then we can interfere in the Chinese meridian. So it's almost like you are pressing buttons and you are combining codes. You know, like I'm going to combine this point, the stomach 36, with liver 3 and with kidney 1, so I can get the result that I want. So I'm all the time combining points and functions, but at the same time trying to understand if I'm placing the cup in the right point, because if I don't place the cup in the right point, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
And by placing the cup in this point, I can use the TCM location. But in my case, I'm not using that anymore. I'm using my intuitive guidance to do it. Because now, after 15, 17 years, I have this knowledge that I can read the body and I can actually place cups in places that is no location in the book, you know?
Wow.
But with that person makes sense. Is almost like you have the quantum field, I have my field, and the client's gonna have their field. And when we come together, we create a new field of energy that is exchanging energy, right? And then it's like her body is talking with my body, is talking with the quantum field, and we are creating something that is new. And you need to give space to the unknown. So if you are a person that is very irrational, very academic, you don't make room for this type of energy to flow through you. You know, it's almost like, okay, I learned everything by the book, but now I'm kind of creating something new that is giving me results, and this is the reason why I keep doing whatever I'm doing, and the clients keep coming back for different reasons, because we are creating something that we don't really understand, but is working.
That's amazing.
You know?
That's the most incredible thing.
It's
for
very
sure.
exciting.
Yeah, for sure. So basically, you're making the person's body like you are reawakening their antenna, like just what happened to you, really, how you sort of you sort of retuned your body like a musical instrument. Like I've interviewed many incredible people on this show, and so many people have referred to the body as a musical instrument, and we sort of tune it with different methods, right? With lifestyle factors, nutrition, sleep, circadian rhythms, like this quantum cupping that we're talking about, any different movement modalities or body therapies. There's like so many ways to actually target the body and actually attune the body back to its true nature. But in reality, we are firstly electromagnetic beings, and then secondly, we are physical beings. Well, that's my personal belief system anyways, that our physical being is meant to be sort of like a temple, like a house to house the soul, or to house this electromagnetic force, or the chi that they call it in the traditional Chinese medicine, right? This life force energy, which is meant to be flowing and emanating out of you and back inside of you, and this sort of like this donut shape, right? And basically people's lifestyles or emotions or the way that they think about themselves can obstruct, very literal physical places in the body, then, and therefore impacting their energetic body as well, because it's important to realize that we also have this energetic body. And when we treat the physical body, I can imagine that, as you're saying, you're influencing the energetic body, but I can imagine that you can also do it the other way around. So by working with the energetic body, you can influence the physical body. Would that be correct?
For sure. I 100% agree. But it's like when you work with the physical body first, it's almost like you are more available to people out there. It's easier for people to come to you, because usually people that come to me, they come, they come with a problem, and it's a very physical problem, and that's okay. I can totally I get it, but throughout the treatments, they cannot ignore everything that is going on, and everything, like, oh my God, during treatment, people shake because their body is like releasing trauma. They start crying for no reason, or they start telling me memories from back in kindergarten, so they start noticing that things are happening, and it's very weird for them because they're very new to everything, to TCM, to quantum field, to energy. So, and you don't want to overwhelm people too, because they're going to run away. So you need to walk together, and guide them throughout this awakening. So but I truly believe that fascia is the quantum organ. Fascia is the connection between the physical body and the quantum field. That's why it's so important for us to keep fascia healthy, because if your fascia is not healthy, you cannot connect with the quantum field, you cannot connect with any type of field. You are disconnected, and then it's harder to do life completely disconnected.
Well, tell me a little bit then. Tell me a little bit about the fascial system, since we're going down this road, because I was going to ask you about this. What kind of things are influencing people's fascial system in a negative way?
Well, the electromagnetic field, of course, like EMF is one thing. Toxic diet, like processed foods, processed sugar, alcohol, negative thoughts, negative relationships, and the fascia system. I think I see like is the most pure system, and it's very connected with nature. So all you need to do is to go outside, get some sunlight, get into the ocean, walk barefoot, eat fruits, vegetables. If you want to eat some meat, try to eat organic chicken, organic whatever you can get organic. But it's a very refined system that responds to everything that you do. It's going to respond to everything that you do. So, and of course, especially belief systems, right? So your fascia is also responding to your belief system. So when your belief system is completely negative, your fascia is very constricted and causing a lot of obstructions and adhesions. And by causing all those adhesions, you are completely disconnected from the quantum field, and then you are lost. Things are not clear. So I truly believe that the fascia system is the system that reconnects us with the quantum field.
Wow.
It's the most important system for the energy body, And
wow, that's
it's
incredible.
very clear to me with the client. It's like, is this translator, is a translator,
Wow.
The fascia system is going to translate everything that is going on around you throughout your belief systems.
It is very true.
It's a little new.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was saying that we have a new body that we are learning how to deal with it,
Yeah.
We don't know yet, and now it's online.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why it's so incredible to talk with people like you and share this wisdom, with the world, because they need to realize that how important it is to take care of this very, very important and underlooked system, because people tend to look at the fascial system and they think, oh, it's just connective tissue. It's just this white stuff that wraps around everything in the body. It's like when you buy like a piece of meat and you see this white stuff on top, which is kind of hard, and you cut it off. Well, people tend to think of like the fascia in the body like that. It's just for transferring mechanical energy or allowing you to be able to move efficiently throughout life, where of course that is one of its functions. But as you are mentioning, it's so much more than that. It is literally the home of where the energetic body is housed. So talk to me a little bit about the connection between meridians and the fascial system.
Well, the TCM meridians is in the fascia system. How crazy is that?
That is
It's
crazy.
there. Is you know, and it's like it's funny to think that how TCM knew everything about fascia 3,000 years ago, right? Because the now we have all those meridians, but where those meridians came from someone that was meditating.
That's crazy.
He like this person, you know, so came from the quantum field.
Wow.
And
so basically,
only now we are just.
I was just gonna say that. So basically, someone is just meditating there, and then they are, maybe afterwards writing down their thoughts on a piece of paper or whatever, or a papyrus or whatever, and they are, drawing a body and making these dots based on how they're envisioning it in their mind, or the download that they received. It's just wild.
Yeah, it was a download, was a download of information, and we keep downloading. Probably you are downloading too. Everybody's downloading different types of information, because everything that is happening the last 3 years about fascia system and lymphatic system, it's overwhelming. Like we know so much right now that we didn't know 5 years ago. It's almost like, okay, now we are all ready to understand this system that was ignored for like 100 years, was ignored for so many years. Now we have this system in place, and we cannot ignore it anymore because of results. Like, so, I don't know, like I have patients. Yeah.
No, go ahead, please.
No, I was just saying that I have people coming for quantum cupping that couldn't make it with IVF utility, and after 2 to 3 months, they are pregnant.
Wow.
How can you explain that?
That's crazy.
So like I see miracles in the office. I saw miracles. I had a patient, if you have like just 5 minutes, because this story blew my mind. I had a patient, she was 47. She tried to conceive her entire life, and she had one ovary on the right and one fallopian tube on the left, so like zero chance to get pregnant, right? And we were like going through treatments. She was with me for like a year treating a bunch of other things. She didn't want to get pregnant anymore because she tried a lot. And then she went out one night, she had an encounter, and then she like one night stand type of thing, and she was pregnant 2 weeks after. Wow. And she went to the doctor. They were like examining that her fallopian tube connected with her right ovary. Like I don't know how, but her fallopian tube connected with the other ovary, and she got pregnant.
Wow, that's
how
incredible.
Can you explain that? Like the body does things that we don't know that is possible. It's like you don't know what your body can do. You don't know, but if you believe it's possible, it's possible. So again, belief systems playing into the game.
So would you say that basically through your practice of what you do, like one of the primary roles is, yes, to restore the energetic body and the flow of the energetic body, but as well the bioelectricity, so the bioelectrical signaling that is going around the body, right? So now every organ and system of the body and cells is having the energy that it needs to be able to carry out its processes, because a lot of people don't realize that the body actually runs on electricity.
Oh yeah, like 100% is voltage. Chi is like energy that is going to restore your voltage. And once your voltage is healthy, everything can happen. But again, like intention, it's also a very important part of the process. Trust is a very important part of the process. You need to be aligned with whatever you want.
Yes.
And you need to believe that it's possible. And then with the energy field available and free, everything is possible. That's it. It's not really complex. It's very simple. Yeah,
I think like science aims to make things more complicated for us in a way to create this
Yeah.
to create this division, especially when you read like scientific articles and papers. There is just so much scientific jargon, like words that don't need to be said in a specific way, but they are made in such a way that it's hard for the basic person to understand, right, and to translate. So all of
Yeah.
this important information is sort of gate kept behind the walls by only those who actually understand it. And this is why it's so good for this is why I love social media so much, because there are so many intelligent doctors and people like yourself out there who are teaching and educating people in simple terms, really complex things that are happening under the hood, like in the body, which are, so insane, but you're actually simplifying it for people that, this is what you need to do. If your fascial system is like this, do like this, that you don't need to know about all of the weird stuff that's happening
No,
underneath. You just need to nurture
you
your body and
don't.
give it what it needs to reconnect with nature, right? So one really cool thing that fascinates me as well is how the lymphatic system also lines up with the meridians. Is that correct?
Kind of. Is not everything, because the TCM meridians, they have a flow, like a direction. They either go up or down, right?
Ah,
But the
okay.
lymphatic system is always going up
Mm,
from the feet up. It's
yes.
always, you always need to work towards your heart.
Okay.
The TCM meridians, they go up, they go down. Some meridians like cross in between, so it's a little bit different. But
Mm-hmm.
you can combine treatments. That is completely possible. But the
Mm-hmm.
flow of the meridians is not the same flow of the fascia system. But I believe like the lymphatic system. But the lymphatic system has a very important role of like keeping the body clean, right?
Mm,
Keeping the body flushing toxins out. Because if when the body is toxic, the fascia creates adhesion,
mm,
inflammation, and chi cannot flow in the body. So it is like,
mm,
it's almost like the garbage of the electrical system, you know? You have the electrical system, you have the fascia system, the chi is flowing the way that's supposed to be up or down, but the lymphatic system is taking the garbage out. And when the lymphatic system cannot take the garbage out, the chi
mm,
cannot flow into the meridians in the right direction. If that
mm,
specific meridian is flowing, because for example, one meridian has to flow up and the lymphatic system is completely clogged, that meridian is going to start to flow down. And if this meridian is going to start to flow down, everything else is going to be impacted.
mm.
So
Wow.
the lymphatic system, it's pretty interesting, it's keeping everything flowing in the right
Mm.
direction.
Methylene blue, an incredibly powerful substance that has an affinity for the mitochondria. Discovered in 1876 at first as a textile dye, it didn't take long before it was noticed for its unusual biological effects. Here is a list of all the things that methylene blue is known for. My personal favorites, it is effects that it has on the mitochondria. Methylene blue acts as a redox agent. What this means is that it has the ability to grab onto electrons, donate and transfer them anywhere where energy is required in the body. And we know that most Neolithic diseases these days are due to a lack of cellular energy, ATP. The more electrons we can get through successfully along the electron transport chain in the mitochondria, the more deuterium depleted water we can make, as well as the end of energy production, which is ATP. The energy that we need to power all our cellular processes come from electrons. So it only makes sense the more we take care of our mitochondria and our energy production, the more energy we have for our overall health, well-being and vitality. If you wish to explore the methylene blue that I use, head over to meragimedicinal.com/mobilityfitness and use the promo code mobilityfitness at checkout for 15% off your entire order. I didn't know that about the
Again,
meridians
very
that they,
simple.
yeah, I didn't know that about the
They
meridians
have
that they
different
flow.
directions.
Yeah, that they flow in different directions. I just thought that it all sort of flows in some logical manner, but it sounds like it's quite complex, to be honest. Like it's a little bit like
It's complex, yes.
over my head. Yeah. But what actually, I think what I meant was when I said about the lymphatic system being so similar to the meridians is maybe I meant the lymph nodes. So the location of the lymph nodes, would you say that they align with the meridians? So for example,
Yeah.
like if you think where all the major lymph nodes
Yes.
are in the body, like neck, armpits, groin, knees.
We have the lung master point. Yes, yes. We do have some important master points located close to the lymphatic nodes. For example, in the chest area, you have the lung master point. Close to all these lymphatic nodes around the armpit area, you have some gallbladder points here close to the chest area. You have a very important point in the duct of that is on top of the stomach area. We have like a master point over there as well for the large intestines. So, and it is a point that I use in all my treatments because this huge lymphatic duct is the one in charge of the neck area, the brain. So we need to keep all of that very, very clean so this master point can actually function and work. So yes, this is the answer.
So basically, like, is there any other ways that you can treat the body? Like, do you treat the body in any other kind of ways? I'm just looking for now, do you have some self-help tools and strategies that we can give the audience, you know, if they can do something at home to help themselves, like any hints and tips to help their fascial system, their lymphatic system, their chi, their life force, you know, all of this, as we talked about, is sort of intertwined, right? It's sort of like all working together. So I can imagine that if you have some tips that are helping one, it's going to also impact the other systems of the body as well.
Yeah, that is like very simple things that you can do at home. You can walk around nature. You get the infrared light from the trees, from like nature, from the sun. If you can walk barefoot, you are like grounding. This is very well known. You can stretch your fascia. You can keep the fascia hydrated. So hydration is super important. Mineral salts, electrolytes is not optional anymore. We need to have a good quality water. So every day I usually wake up in the morning, I have my mineral salts and I have electrolytes so I can keep my field flowing better because when the fascia is dehydrated, things doesn't flow, right? So body movement first thing in the morning, it all depends if you are a man or a woman because it's kind of different. They are completely different systems. If you are a woman, it depends if you are menstruating or not. Your flow is going to change by your age and by the set of hormones that are functioning in your body. I usually treat women 35 plus. So we can kind of, we take it easy in the morning, you know? You wake up, you do like some hydration, you move your body, you stretch your fascia, you make sure you get some fruits and vegetables. I know that protein now is super trendy. A lot of people are talking about a huge amounts of protein. I don't really agree. I think electrical body, yeah, is gonna need some protein, but for women specifically, we need more like mineral salts. So like fruits and vegetables is gonna be a better option in the morning. It all depends of your lifestyle, but we all agree about like movement and nature and a clean diet, like organic, if possible. Stay away from processed sugar, processed foods. I don't do alcohol for over 10 years now. I don't really drink. So I think, especially for women, alcoholic drinks, it's very, very toxic as we age. And it can interfere with perimenopause, with menopause, with the fascia system. You don't want your fascia dehydrated. If your fascia is dehydrated, your voltage is going to be low voltage, and low voltage means disease. And
Awesome.
yeah, you can get the vibrational plate. You know, the vibrational plate is going to help you a lot. You can get some cups, so you can cup yourself and create this space so energy can flow into your body. You can help with the lymphatic system, flushing the lymphatic system. That is a lot that you can do, but you have to do it, right? You cannot run away from diet, movement, nature, and clean diet. I think those are the pillars for a good, healthy life.
I 100% agree with you. Yeah. So what you're saying is like a biological necessity to do all of those things. It's not like just something nice to do. It's just that, especially at a certain point in,
No.
in life, if you reach 30 and over, you really, really need to start paying attention to those things. I can tell you that for myself because I'm almost 30 this year. And when I was 20, obviously I didn't feel anything. Obviously, the first 10 years of my life, I'm a kid, like growing up, you know? And so, like, yeah, once I was like 20, after 25, 27, 28, I start to really notice, like, when I do things out of alignment, I really feel it in my body now. And so I just really realized that how I need to pay
Right?
even more attention, yeah, to all of the little
Yeah.
details, because I noticed that I'm also becoming more sensitive to the good kind of things as well. So anything that makes me feel good, I'm more sensitive to it. So I feel more in tune to the negative things and also the positive things as well. So it's like a, you know, like a pros and cons, but at the same time, you know, it's a gift, you know, to be able to be aware about the things that are throwing you off track, and to be able to be aware of what you just mentioned, all of the things that you need to be doing, because that is what is, your body is designed to live in alignment with nature and to eat real foods and to sleep, you know, and to, you know, live in the
Amen.
cycles and the rhythms of the
Yes.
sun and the seasons. But I would like for you to explain a little bit about the protein aspect, because I've also come to this conclusion as well myself about the protein, is that you don't actually need that much protein. I used to be this kind of person who believed that you need a ton of protein to build muscle and have performance and all this kind of stuff. But over the years and through my experience and self experimentation and also working with clients, I've actually realized that you don't need that much protein in order to build muscle,
Yeah.
lose body fat. And so tell me a little bit why eating too much protein, especially from maybe a traditional Chinese medicine perspective, why is that a problem?
Well, because this is a thing like you, like throughout my years of practice, I also tried to eat a lot of protein and didn't work for me. I was like actually getting a lot of inflammation from it.
Mm,
And like just like I was really feeling like really heavy. The flow of energy was not flowing the same.
mm,
Was kind of interfering in my work, in my practice. I was not able to read the field so easy anymore, because when I started to do the quantum cupping, I was doing like a detox protocol and I was very clean, very, very, very clean. So
mm,
the energy was flowing easy throughout my body. And then, you know, I turned like 45, 46. I was like, okay, better eat more
mm,
protein, lift some weights, right? Like
mm-hmm.
everybody's doing now.
Yes.
It didn't work for me. It didn't
Yeah.
work at all.
Yeah.
Was completely the opposite. I was getting like
Mm,
very, very sick and inflamed. And
wow.
talking with my patients, like I had a lot of women look like coming as a client that were doing the protein shakes, was doing
Yeah.
all the protein game and lifting weights, and for them was not really budging anymore, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had again to kind of unplug from the matrix, because sometimes we
Mm,
need to unplug from the matrix
yes.
and
Yeah.
understand, okay, what is happening inside and in my practice? Because this is all I
Mm,
know. I don't know anything else outside of here. And I just realized that protein, it's kind of a game that is not serving a good amount of people.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
but I truly believe that the protein is a very is very heavy. It's very heavy. And if you have this an energetic body that needs to flow and has a voltage, and the voltage needs to be high, means that the flow of energy has to be more free and less dense. So we
Yeah.
actually need a less dense body in order to function better in the world. And then I
Mm,
move all my practice from lifting weights to like exercise. I'm going to
mm,
lift only the weight of my body, and I'm going to eat what I feel like eating. Of course,
mm,
clean, but I wake up in the morning and I feel like eating fruits. If I'm
mm.
gonna go by the book, I'm totally wrong, because it's too much sugar, glucose.
Yeah.
Glucose gonna do
Yes.
this and
Yes.
that, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
and then I go
Mm,
crazy, you know. But
yeah.
again, you need to make things simple. It's
Mm,
simple. I wake up,
mm.
I'm in tune with my body. I feel like eating fruits, and this is what I'm gonna do. you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you need to believe more in your body and
Yes.
what you feel,
Exactly.
and less, you know, in everybody else. Like your body
Mm,
cannot lie to you. Your
mm,
body is going to
mm.
actually guide you. But in order to guide you, you need to be in alignment. Like you need to be healthy.
Yes. Yes.
Like if you are inflamed, you're going to wake up and feel like eating chocolate cake, you know, and that's not good
Mm.
for you. So
Mm, yeah. No, this is everything. I really resonate with everything that you said there because I also noticed that when I was overdoing the protein, like eating more than 200 grams of protein per day, I would notice that I would also feel more inflamed. My joints were more stiff. In fact, when I did
right,
the
hurt.
when I did the carnivore diet and I wasn't consuming any fruits or vegetables, I was just consuming mainly meats and eggs, and that was basically it, and butter. It's very, very high protein and not enough fat in contrast to the protein. So in a way, it's very hard for the body to get into ketosis, which is a very healing state for the body to be in. But a ketogenic diet is not a carnivore diet. And that's something that a lot of people get confused about, that very high protein actually makes you produce more glucose. You know, we go into gluconeogenesis because your body is trying to all the time find that sugar from somewhere, because there are some tissues in the body, especially if
Interesting.
you are a very physically active individual, if you lift weights or if you do sprinting, for example, you use the
Uh-huh.
glucose in the muscle, you deplete that. So where does the body have to find it? It has to regenerate it through gluconeogenesis. So it has to basically take the protein, break it down and make it into sugar. And that is a very stressful state for the body to be in. It's a stress metabolism, really. It's sort of like an emergency metabolism in until you actually are meant to find carbohydrates in your environment, like, you know, some kind of fruits or honey or whatever. But a lot of times, a lot of people stay stuck in this lane, but while constantly eating just a carnivore diet. Of course, if you have some severe symptoms and condition where you feel like carnivore diet has helped you, then definitely, you know, by all means, continue doing that. But I'm just saying, for people who do not necessarily have some kind of condition or symptoms, they should probably look into varying their diet a little bit, eating more seasonal and local, embracing what nature is providing you. You know, there is a reason why fruits and vegetables are available in nature, and they are meant to give you the codes and the information about the season and also the intensity of light. And your biology is working way better with that, instead of, you know, just overdoing the protein. And yes, the body does need protein, but it just doesn't need as much as we think it needs based on the current science and understanding. Well, I feel like we went off on a little bit of a tangent there about on the nutrition side of
No,
things,
but it's
but
very important.
yes, absolutely, because it ties into the fascial system, as you talked about. And I personally
Yeah.
noticed that when I consume more hydrating fruits like watermelon, melons, and anything that has
Yeah.
more water in it, I generally feel that my tissues feel healthier. And that is because the water in those fruits and vegetables is actually in the exclusion zone state, which is this gel-like water,
Yeah.
which is the most biocompatible with your fascial system, obviously, because that is surrounded by exclusion zone water. And all the water in your body is pretty much exclusion zone water, unless it's destructured due to, you know, bad lifestyle habits or environmental factors. But is there something that we didn't talk about today that you would like to discuss before we end the show?
No, you were talking about seasons, right? And like TCM, it's very into seasons. Like the
Mm,
way that we live in the summer is not the same way that we live in the fall or winter or spring. So the body also have a season that's gonna detox easier. And it's usually between spring and summer is usually when TCM, we use the body to detox because the body is already detoxing by nature. So we
mm,
increase detoxification around the summer and the spring, and fall and winter is usually when we eat actually meat because there
and that
is a
makes sense.
season. There is a season, you know, there is a season for the meat eating, for like for the dense foods, and there is a season for more fruits, vegetables. Like you said, I'm very into
Yeah.
the watermelon now. I'm eating like 1 2 watermelons a day, and it's funny
Yeah.
because my body is actually craving because we are in the summer. and completely make sense. So things are not complex, and we cannot make things too much complex because people is going to run from it. They don't understand, they don't comprehend, they're going to think that it's too difficult and they don't want to do it. I try to get as much people as I can so I can have like a bigger impact. And when you explain things in simple terms and you don't overcomplicate, it's easier for people to, oh yeah, it kind of makes sense. If a client comes to me now and say like, I want to lose weight, I was like, well, it's very warm outside. Let's keep the meals like lighter.
Yeah.
Let's eat lighter. Greens, fruits, vegetables. Let's move the body, walk around nature, go to the beach, go inside the ocean. Like it's like to keep the body healthier. It's simple. It's not complicated. It's simple, and this is how I work, and it's working.
Absolutely. I mean, clearly. And
You
I'll
just
tell you
keep things simple,
I'll tell you one crazy story. Like when I was also doing this carnivore diet, I was doing it in the summertime. And I honestly felt like it was the worst decision I ever made because I didn't tan at all that summer, and I normally tan extremely well because I always build my solar callus by being outside in the sun every single day, 365 days a year. But for some reason that summer I didn't tan, so my melanin didn't come to the surface, and I was burning extremely easily, which actually was telling me maybe that my body was not getting information that from the food that, hey, like this is summertime, you need to be changing your process. Or it could have been the fact that my body was not hydrated on a cellular level, and it could not actually work as it was supposed to. Because you know how if you eat only meat and you basically pee a lot, right? It's very diuretic diet. Anything that you drink, because you don't have carbohydrates always hold on to water inside of the body. They draw water. So when insulin spikes, you hold on to more water inside of the body. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, especially when you want to find optimal hydration. Because if you're eating a ketogenic or a carnivore diet for a long period of time, why do you think they tell those people to put so much electrolytes and salt? Because that is the only way to hold on to water inside of the body, right? Because you are not raising insulin high enough in order to retain the water. Anyway, these are just some of my own hypotheses that I came to from my own self-experimentation.
I agree. I completely
But anyway,
agree.
I learned that balanced approach, embracing the seasons, still eating protein, but going with the seasonality, and embracing nature wherever you are locally and eating as clean and organic as possible is a massive, benefit to your overall health and well-being, your energy levels, your fascial system, your lymphatic system. I absolutely love this discussion today, Mila. Like, is there any last words of wisdom that you'd like to leave the audience with?
Well, just keep your fascia healthy, your lymphatic system unclogged, move your body, drink a lot of water, have a clean diet, and all is going to get better. That's it.
Nice.
You don't need to overthink, over worry, or hurt your spleen.
Yeah, and also like I hope that people understood from this awesome discussion that frequency and energy and basically the quantum field is impacting our very physical body. So every single thought, behavior, and emotion is literally impacting your fascial system, which is going to impact your energetic system, which is going to impact your voltage, which is basically your cellular electricity or charge. And if your charge is not there, that's where this disease begins to manifest itself, right? We know that when we have a loss of voltage and charge, that's when disease begins to manifest. So where can people connect with you, find you, work with you if they wish to do so?
Well, we have our clinic here in San Diego, Cupping for Life Holistic Health Center. We are in Pacific Beach, San Diego. We have our account at Instagram. We have Cupping for Life, and we have the Quantum Cupping is also there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm completely open for discussion. If you want to drop a message, we're gonna talk. And just, I would say, like last words, like to pay attention about your feelings, because your feelings has a lot to do with your voltage. So when we are feeling lighter, positive, that means that our voltage is high. And when we are feeling like we are like a little sad, frustrated, it means that our voltage is a little low and kind of interferes in everything that you do in life. So the like a easy thing to understand is our feelings. Like high positive feelings is going to give you a direction where your voltage is, and it's our responsibility to keep our voltage high.
Wow, I
And
love
you
it.
can make everything that you want.
That's
Right?
amazing. Yeah, yeah.
It
Be the
was
creator.
really, really fun to talk with you. Yes,
Absolutely.
be the
I love.
creator. And
Go ahead, say it.
no, that's it. I
Yeah.
said everything already.
Awesome. Yeah, well, if you have any new revelations or anything like that about the human body, any new discoveries, I would love to have you on the show again to talk about that in the future. And
Thank you
until
very
next
much.
time, thank you so
Yes.
much. If you guys enjoy the topics and guests I bring on the show, I would really appreciate it if you left me a 5-star review on Spotify and also subscribe to Fitness Wisdom Podcast on YouTube as well, as this helps to spread the knowledge and wisdom with the world. Until next time, this is the Fitness Wisdom Podcast.